Live from the headquarters of Rome Flora in Ottawa, the beautiful capital of Canada. Good morning, bonjour, bon dias, buongiorno. Welcome to Joe Kama Sport, the 4th edition. Welcome to the beautiful game, soccer, calcio, football, and one world, one game. The only sport that you can call in 5 different names. Why? Why? Because the most popular sport in the world today. And just to give you a few rundown, 2006 when Italy won the World Cup in Spain, and there was all the 64 game played. There was 32.5 billion people watching all the games, and the final game that Italy won against France. There was 3.4 billion people watching just the final game. So that's why it's one of the most popular sport in the world today. And as I said before, and I say now, soccer is friendship, health, and peace all over the world. Especially right now, I want a reminder of the poor people from Afghanistan they're going through. So we wanted to, the sport to bring peace to the country also. And I'm on the same time, I want to remind also all the frontline workers. They're doing a great job again for us, starting from the beautiful doctors. They put their life online all the time. The nurses, the cleaners, everybody that involved with the medical institution. So we want to remind them, which is very important to remind all the beautiful frontline workers in the world, And this is all about, we have to appreciate it. We live in some beautiful country like Canada, because we're from the capital of Canada here, and right now we give you just the news in Ottawa. In Canada, there is also the national elections running at this moment, and we're very busy here with the pandemic, with all the things that are happening. Plus, we have the national election. I don't know why they want to spend the $600 million, $610 million for the election. I don't think there's a need. The health, the institution health, the health of the people of Canada is more important than the election. That's my opinion. And now, Joe Soccer Sport, the breaking news. Second best player in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo. Left the Juventus to go back to the old Manchester City. Manchester United. Manchester City wanted to acquire him. And the last minute they decided to go to Manchester United because he played there for 6 years and he wanted to maybe finish his career there. He left to the beautiful team like Juventus, one of the most popular, the most richest team in Europe, Juventus club, to go to Manchester United, for the same amount of money. They gave him $30 million per year, but the way I see it, this is just my opinion, they play for the brand now. They don't play for the team or the country they play for, or the city they play for. They play for their brand. The brand, Rolando brand, as I read his book, is since he started playing soccer, he made over $1 billion. So that tells you how much his name is worth it. So this is the whole idea, ladies and gentlemen, and young people around the world. I tell you, today it's not like the old days when I was growing up. The people used to play for the jersey they wear. Today, the jersey they wear is worth the billions of dollars, not millions of dollars. So this is what it's all about, the sponsorship, and it's more important than everything else today. And money, there's so much money all around, in those big countries. For sport, they spend a lot of money. And I can tell you one case, the 2002 World Cup in Korea and Japan. I don't know if you remember. You know, Ronaldo is the best soccer player in those days. Ronaldo from Brazil. The game was between France and Brazil, which France won 2-0. Ronaldo was hurt. He couldn't play the final game. Bernanke, because he had so many millions on sponsorship for that game, you know, they let him play. They forced him to play the final game, and he wasn't able to play. But he played hurt because of so much money involved with the sport, and that's what happened. Brazil lost the World Cup final, and if you guys remember, if you people remember. Zidane scored the header, one of the goal. Zinedine Zidane is one of the best players in those days, and that's what it is. Money, you know, it's more important than everything else today. They don't play like the old days. You know, they used to play for the city they play with. They grew up with the city they play with. Now every good player, they move around. You know. Like anything else, you know, they move around because they're making more money. So this is what it is, you know. The brand is more important than the sport. So that's they move around, and that's how they make more money, you know. And as you know, for me, just to be on the same subject, the best player ever played the game for me is always number one. In the old days, number one was Pelé. And number two was Armando Diego Maradona, that he won the World Cup twice. He won the championship with Napoli. You know, he was one of the best players in those days. We're talking in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. And then there's the best player right now, for my opinion, is Mr. Lionel Messi, which is just left Barcelona to go play with Paris Saint-Germain for $45 million. And then there is a number two for me is Ronaldo. They just moved from Juventus to Manchester United. And number three for me is Mike Mabby that is thinking to move it from Paris Saint-Germain to Real Madrid. As you know, Real Madrid has a new coach, Ancelotti. Ancelotti is the Italian coach. He coached Real Madrid 10 years ago. Now he went back to coach Real Madrid again because Zinedine Zidane quit the team. So this is the news. That's the international news. And now we'll go for the Italian championship news, which there is the game going on right now, actually, in Italy, and starting the game and scheduling for this weekend. They play in Atalanta, Bologna, Lazio, Spezia, Fiorentina, Torino. Juve plays Empoli, and Genoa plays Napoli, and then we have all the rest of the teams there. But today the best team on schedule today it's Fiorentina Torino, and then tomorrow we have my favorite team, which I mentioned to you last week, that Napoli is going to win the Scudetto this year, the championship, the Italian championship. Napoli plays Genoa, and Sassuolo plays Sampdoria, and Milan playing Cagliari, and then we have Salernitana and Roma. As you know, Roma, they have the new coach, Jose Mourinho, one of the international coach, one of the best one in the game right now. And this now, I'm going to give you a few new news. As I said, my reason doing this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and young people around the world, is that It's for our young people, and I care about young people. Yeah, in my life here in this beautiful town, Ottawa, I always help the young people playing the sport for many years, and I help the old people, whenever I can with the community. So, and I have something for the young people when they play the sport. Starting from they started now at 5 years old, the house league, and they go up to, my son is 36 and still playing right now, so, and my younger son. So this is what it's all about. And every time on my house, when I used to have my house league, especially young people, they started playing the sport that we love. I used to give the Joe's 11 commandments for team spirit. I have it right here, and I'm going to read it to you, which is very important for our young people to follow this 11 commandments. And I say, number 1, help each other be right and not wrong when they play. Number 2, look for ways to make a new idea work, not for the reason they want. So they, when they play, it's just playing in a good environment. And number 3, if you have adopted, check it out. Never trying to do things you shouldn't do. And number 4, help each other win and take pride for each other victories. And I tell you a little story, which is a friend of mine told me many years ago. There was this uncle went to see his nephew playing the soccer, and while he was watching the game, his nephew was losing the game 18-0, and that's a little case that happened. And after 18-0, at the end of the game, 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the end of the game, they scored the first goal. So the game ended 18-1, so his nephew lost 18-1. But one day his nephew scored a goal. Everybody was celebrating. Everybody was going nuts because they scored a goal. And there's uncle. The first time he see a soccer game, he asked his brother. He said, "Why your son is celebrating?" Well, he's celebrating because that's the only goal they score all year round. So just a case that happened. And that tells you, how fun it can be, the sport of soccer. So that's what they call it in 5 different ways. They call it a beautiful game. Anything can happen. So this is all about. So, and number 5, it says here, speak positively about each other and about your organization at every opportunity. So never criticize the team or the organization that you play for. That's what I used to give it to all the players. They play with my program, soccer program. I had it for 25 years. And number 7, act with initiative and courage, as if it all depends on you. So you have to always have initiative and courage to play the game. It's very important. And number 8, do everything with enthusiasm. Like I'm doing right now. Everything I do with enthusiasm and passion. If you don't have, young people, you guys, you have to have a passion, whoever, when you play any sport, not just soccer, any sport, if you don't have a passion and enthusiasm, you cannot do it, And number 8, do everything, with with enthusiasm, because it's contagious, Whatever you want. And number 9, whatever you want, trying to make it work, And number 10, don't lose faith and never give up, which is very important. And number 11, which is the most important, beside everything else, just have fun. It's very important. Any sport that you play, you have to have fun and passion and everything else. So this is the Joe Soccer 11 Commandments for Team Spirit. So I hope it's helpful to you, and for the parents to pass it on to the young people starting playing the sport. And now for have another news here. It just came in and online there. the most expensive Ferrari. We go in, you know, that's what I'm here. I'm trying to make the best of you, give a few extra news or whatever I have here. It's a 1959 Ferrari 250 GT LWB Spider in California, was sold in auction for $5 million. Just a Ferrari was sold for $5 million. That tells you why, like I said in my first podcast, you know, Italy is in cars one of the best and fastest and the most expensive now. You know, 1959 Ferrari was sold for $5 million in California just the last month. So, and this is all it's all about there. And I tell you, I give you a few more international news that happened in the last week in London is in England and Germany and also in France. All the major teams, like in Germany, Munich, Bayern Munich is he won the first two games. They are still one of the best team in Germany. They've been winning just like Juventus. They won 10 years in a row. And Bayern Munich, they won about 8 years in a row. So it's one of the best team. And the same is with in France, the French league. Paris Saint-Germain is one of the best team. They've been winning almost every year. And also in Spain, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they've been dominated for the last 15, 20 years. They're the best team, and both teams, even though without Messi, Barcelona, they won the first two games. Just to let you know, and this is all about this week, and I just wanted to finish here, and thank you for listening to me, and all the TV viewer that on YouTube. I appreciate all the comments, and I want to thank you, some of my friends that I met, especially Eugenio Bulba, one of my best friends that in sport, and a friend for many years. I want to thank you, not just Eugenio, but all the people that look at this podcast, which is very important to me to see that you guys follow, and maybe I can do better and better every week, and to give more information about the sport that we love. And this is what it's all about, and I would thank you again, everybody. And concludiamo, we end the Joe Soccer Sport Talk. E non dimenticare, nella vita dobbiamo amare, sognare, vivere, to love, to dream, to live until we're here again. Alla prossima, vogliamoci bene assai assai, to love each other. I love you, ciao, arrivederci, next week. Grazie, ciao.